Welcome. My name is Bruce Davis. I'm the author of Gold Magic from Brick Cave Books. The Brick Cave podcast is brought to you by the BC Book Club, Brick Cave Media's community portal for readers that love Brick Cave books and authors. You can join today and be a part of the Brick Cave story at Brick Cave Media's new website, brickcave.media.
Hi, I'm Sharon Skinner, and welcome to the Brick Cave Media Podcast. I'm the author of Return to Honoria from Brick Cave Books. We're here tonight in the Brick Cave studio located at the Brick Cave office right here in beautiful downtown Mesa, Arizona.
Well, we have our little script here to read from.
Lucky
So
for us.
let's start by talking about some of our favorite websites, by which I assume we mean literary type websites.
Yes.
My favorite websites, I don't know that most people would be interested in. What do you like, Sharon?
Well, you're going to get us off on Victorian fashion again. I know. I can see it coming. So I spend a lot of time on, of course, writing and publishing type websites. And some of my favorites, of course, Jane Friedman is up there in the top 3 on my list. Her blog, her newsletters, Electric Speed and The Hot Sheet, are always full of really good information about publishing and writing and all the things, social media that authors have to do. And she's just really, really smart. So I like Jane, and I follow Jane. One of the fun ones that I like to follow is Kristen Nelson's Pub Rants. And so she has her own literary agency, and she publishes a blog once a month. And it's always really interesting to read her take on the industry or what's going on or the trending that's happening. Her latest one was about how the creators are still not getting their due, financially speaking, that things have really blown up the last couple of years in the publishing, and books have really sold well, and yet they've clamped down on how much they're offering authors and what kind of money they're outlaying to new authors and to creators in general. So that's always interesting. And then one of my favorites, and she will always be one of my favorite people, and she's an author and also very knowledgeable, is Darcy Pattison. And Darcy has a blog she's no longer posting to, but I revisit it on a regular basis, and I send people there on a regular basis. So those are my top 3. I have more that we can talk about, but those are my top 3 people or top 3 websites that I probably go back to over and over again, or at least follow what they're doing and what they're saying in the world, because they're very on top of their business.
I don't look at the websites that are literary or publishing related, quite frankly. Maybe I should. I might learn something. I don't know if it would help me a great deal, but I don't. 2 of my favorites that are related are sciencefictionnovelist.com. It's not a website like you've described. This is just a bunch of people who get together and share little tidbits from the world of science fiction novels, their own novels, ideas for stories, sometimes really cool space stuff, and that sort of thing.
So not all science fiction, some science.
It's science fiction novelists. All of us write science fiction, but most of it is, cool science stuff. I mean,
That's cool.
There's guys on there who are astronomers that will, hey, did you know? Here's the latest development. And there are guys like me who are either medical or biological based and will post things like, story idea, somebody run with it, that sort of thing.
That's cool.
I visit XKCD regularly.
And what is that?
It's a comic strip, but basically it's scientific answers to goofy questions. Like, what if you could throw a baseball at the speed of light from the pitcher's mound to home plate? What would really happen besides a nuclear holocaust that would destroy most of New York?
So in the nitty gritty, what takes place, the physics
Yes.
of it and that
Well,
sort of thing?
one of my
or-
favorites was he calculated the weight and size of a mole, the scientific measure, Avogadro's number mole, of moles, the little creatures. It would be as big as Pluto and have its own weight, its own gravity.
Wow.
Made up entirely
that's a
of
hell of a
moles.
mole. Okay.
So it's goofy science stuff like that.
That's cool. Well, that sounds entertaining. I mean, especially if you trying to relax a little bit, but you still want to nerd out, right?
Yeah.
We like to nerd out.
And then the other one is the NASA website where I regularly go for just gazing at pretty pictures.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
But I don't do a lot of stuff with literary blogs and websites. I visit John Scalzi's blog periodically when he's talking about other authors' books or book reviews. Oh, that's the other one I should mention is Frigid Reads.
You've mentioned it before, yeah.
There's Garvin does excellent reviews of a wide variety of books. And his editor and commentator, who inserts these little sidebars, usually in red, is my other surrogate son, Ben, who is a Asperger's to the max entomologist and an out-and-out communist. So it's always fun to see his, up the proletariat thing.
Well, there are other things that I do places I hang out. So I hang out on, of course, my book coaches forums, the Authors Guild forums. I'm lurking there a lot. I rarely comment, but I'm always kind of interested to see what's going on in that realm. I spend a lot of time on SCBWI because being the regional advisor for the state of Arizona for them, I'm on that website a lot. And they are always adding resources. And so I'm always looking at that and being able to offer that to other individuals, to share that is really good. There's the Kidlit 411 website, which, because I do Kidlit as well as general spec fic, I hang out there. So there are groups on Facebook for that stuff too as well. But that's actually, the Kidlit 411 is an actual website. And then I am also subscribed to a lot of other things like Only Picture Books and Sensations, Sensations is a blog by Cynthia Lettich Smith, and it's all Kidlit stuff all the time. So it's all about the books, and it's interviews of authors and a rundown of various what's out there's and the journeys of, in particular, there's an emphasis on marginalized creators and things like that. So I find that one a really great place to pick up ideas for other books that I might want to jump in and read.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well, that's cool. And then, okay, and I'm just going to say this. I also get Terrible Minds, the blog by Chuck Wendig, because I find him hysterical. And it's interesting because I don't read horror, so I'm not comfortable with most of his work because it's horror, and it's pretty right in there in your face dark horror. But he's hysterical when he's writing his blog, so I find his blog posts to be amusing.
I may have to look that up. That sounds like humor that I might enjoy.
Well, you may or may not, because I think you're going to find you disagree with a lot of things he says.
That
you still might find it entertaining.
I find a lot of things I violently disagree with hysterically funny sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's pretty funny stuff, and he's just funny the way that he blogs. It's interesting that his blog is so funny to me, but his horror is definitely straight up horror. Although I did pick up a copy, and I haven't read it yet, but he's got a YA out called Dust and Grim that I picked up. So I'll let you know after I read that how I like it. It looks really actually very entertaining. So that one's on my to be read pile.
Well, speaking of which, what are you reading?